Welcome everyone, and thank you for being here today. I am excited to introduce you to our topic, Prevention from Inheritance or Hajb. On this slide, you'll see the title and the key concept that Hajb refers to, preventing someone who is entitled to inherit, either partially or fully, from receiving their rightful share. We will explore the different categories of Hajb, starting with complete prevention, which involves excluding an heir entirely, and partial prevention, where only a portion of the inheritance is withheld. Over the course of this presentation, we'll delve into the details of each type and the relevant rulings. Let's get started. Let's take a closer look at what complete prevention means in this context. Essentially, there are three key descriptions that can entirely prevent someone from inheriting. The first is if the person was a slave, the second if they were a murderer, and the third if they belong to a different religion than that of the deceased. These are quite clear-cut cases where inheritance is completely blocked. Now, moving on to prevention by who is more entitled, this is governed by three main principles. The core idea here is that inheritance rights are connected through familial relationships. For example, if someone is related to the deceased through a certain person, then that person's descendants, like a son's male child, are also prevented from inheriting from the same person. So, inheritance rights are intertwined within family lines, and understanding these relationships helps us determine who is entitled and who isn't. Connecting this to the overall theme, these principles emphasize the importance of clear boundaries and rules in inheritance, ensuring that the process is fair and based on well-defined criteria. It's about understanding both the reasons that can prevent inheritance altogether and the principles that determine who has the right to inherit, which is crucial for a comprehensive understanding of inheritance laws. When two or more agnate heirs are involved, the key factor is their closeness in the agnation side. The heir who is closer in relation will have priority in inheritance. For example, if there's a brother, whether he's a full brother or a paternal brother, and a paternal uncle, the inheritance will go to the brother because he's from the closer side of the family. Similarly, when multiple heirs come from the same agnate side, the stronger side takes precedence. So, if you have a full brother and a paternal brother, the full brother will have the priority because he represents the stronger or more direct connection. These principles help us determine who inherits when multiple heirs are involved, and they tie into the overall theme of understanding inheritance rights based on family relationships and kinship strength. Let's take a closer look at the concept of complete prevention in inheritance. There are three specific descriptions that completely prevent someone from inheriting. These are being a slave, being a murderer, or being of a different religion than that of the deceased. These factors are considered so significant that they completely block any inheritance rights. Now, moving on to prevention by who is more entitled. This is governed by three fundamental principles. The first is that anyone related to the deceased through a certain person is also prevented from inheritance by the same person. For example, if the son's male child is involved, he is prevented from inheritance through his father. These principles ensure that inheritance is carefully regulated, and that certain individuals are excluded based on specific circumstances. Connecting this to our overall theme, understanding these prevention rules helps us see how inheritance laws are designed to maintain fairness and clarity within family relationships. Now, let's look at some key aspects of partial prevention in inheritance. First, we have the transition from one type of prescribed share to a lower one. For example, this could mean changing the husband's share from a half to a quarter, which reflects a reduction in his inheritance share based on specific circumstances. Next, there's the transition from being entitled to inherit by prescribed share to inheriting through agnate relatives. This particularly affects four female heirs, daughters, granddaughters, full sisters, and paternal sisters. An example here would be modifying the daughter's share from a half to one-third, which shows how inheritance shares can shift depending on the relationship context. Lastly, we see the transition from inheriting by virtue of agnation to inheriting a smaller prescribed share. For instance, a father may initially inherit through agnation, But then, under certain conditions, his share could be reduced to a prescribed share. Overall, these transitions highlight how inheritance shares are flexible and can change based on different relational and legal factors, ensuring fair distribution according to specific rules. This understanding is crucial as we see how inheritance law adapts to various familial situations.